Welcome back, guys. I am going to tear open the, take the, can't see it, power supply off here pretty soon. But I wanted to go over the schematic with you guys. I went ahead and put the vibrator back together, and it still vibrates, so good news. So I guess, well, the ultimate goal of this is to get it to run, and I am hoping I can do that. Obviously, well, there is a plan B in case I can't get the power supply section to work properly. One of the problems that I've got with this particular set was the schematics come from 1935, and Philco didn't start putting voltages that I know of, at least from what I've seen, until about 37 or 38. The 38 had voltages all along in the schematic, and so did the 4125, and so did my PT6. And but the 610 did not, the 16B does not, and the 624 does not. So I don't know what the voltages are that come out of the power supply, but anyway, so the power supply on this is actually not, I mean, if you separate the two out to two completely different components, I'm sort of looking at this as being like a transformer. I mean, the A plus, or the battery, comes in here, goes, you know, through the components in here, and then comes out. I mean, there's one wire going in and one wire going out, and then a ground that comes out. It is a floating chassis, so the ground, of course, there's that choke in the way there. So this is where it grounds out, and this is also where the A minus, or the negative part of the battery, connects to. So if, like I said, the power supply does not work, or I can't get it to work satisfactorily, if I can figure out the voltage that comes out of there, you know, I could always stuff a couple of transformers in there inside the power supply case. They should fit, I would think, if I had to gut it out. But anyway, be that as it may. So I've been marking up the schematic here. So when the battery comes in, it splits through the switch, and it comes out here. The tubes all have 2-volt filaments on them. So it comes out through here, through the switch, and it connects up in series to the 30 and to the both the 30s. And then oh, I had this all figured out. And then I got squirrely with my highlighters there. So it goes to filament on the 30. It goes to a grid there on the 32, but oh, sorry, I'm not following it correctly. So filament there, and then filament here. And okay, so they're in three different. I thought, never mind. Anyway, so it goes to both 30s, and then where did it go here? And then it goes up through the 1A4, and then it goes up through the 32, and then to ground. And it also splits off and comes up to the 1C6, and then goes all the way over to the 19, or the output tube. And then it goes through the output tube into the pilot lamp, which is also 2 volts. These are all 0.06 amp, and then to ground. So there are resistors in between the filaments of the other tubes here. I'm assuming to drop it, I mean, it's got to be 4 volts, give or take, to each of these, but it pretty much makes a beeline directly to the 1C6, then to the 19 in there, and that's how we get our 2, 4, 6 volts, and I'm assuming it's 4 volts, because it goes through a 33 ohm resistor and a 32 two 33 ohm resistors, different circuit. So anyway, I'm assuming they just get 4 volts. So anyway, so right now, like I said, I'm going to focus on the power supply and try to figure out, hopefully it'll work. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the power supply off and show you guys that. And I guess I'll start recapping it. I thought I had all the capacitors correct capacitors I needed. I need 1.05, and I had a bunch of them, and guess what? The 4125 had a bunch of them in there too. So somebody had told me that it was important to make sure that I'm almost right on for the capacitors that are in the power supply. But I've got some .047s, and you know, I know these weren't all within like 1% tolerance, but anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I will be back and we'll see what it looks like when it's apart. Oh, and I'm gonna take my reference pictures just so y'all know, and I will move whatever I need to this time, unlike the 4125. That was kind of dumb, but anyway, eventually that one will be working. So, and I'm going to be nice and slow on this one because I did rush, as you know, on the 4125 because I was trying to get it done before the meeting and training class that I ended up missing anyway. So, anyhow, so let's go ahead, I'll pull this out and I will be right back. Okie doke, I'm back. So the power supply section is out, and I'll tell you what, this is pretty heavy. Oh look, there's more wax. I just got all sorts of little bits of beeswax falling out here. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out how to get to work on this, because of course there's this shelf here. And I have got ooh, there's something in there, I don't know what it is. Boy. I better check the schematic on. That's a funky looking little part. I wish I could show you, but it's must be another. It must be an RF. It must be the a choke. It's sealed in wax. Whatever it is. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's sealed in wax. I can see coils there, so I wonder why they sealed it in wax. Anyway, I'll give you guys a closer look at it when I pull this apart. So, as you can see here, all the places I couldn't get with the vacuum cleaner are definitely gonna need vacuuming. It's pretty darn dirty still, as well, you know, I told you it sat in a carport for a long time, unfortunately on the cement floor, so I have to deal with the bottom of the cabinet, which is all the plies have separated, and it doesn't seem to be rotten. But anyway, another thing I noticed is that holding the power supply, isolating the power supply off of the main chassis, it uses the same grommets that the tuner uses in both the 610. The 1936 610, well, and this radio, I guess there's not both. And there's one goes on top, one goes on the bottom. So that means there's 8 here, plus 6 here. And it's $5 for 3 of them. So you better believe I am going to be, these are still fairly malleable, so I may be reusing them, and you better believe I'm going to hit them with rubber rejuvenator, because that's $25 worth of rubber there. Not sure. Well, this is going to be expensive anyway. I just know it. So anyhow, I also want to get it on video and have witnesses that I am sealing the power supply hardware in a bag marked power supply parts. It will go into the box, which is on the other side of the room. It's the box I use for the 3812. Actually, I'm going to put that in there now when I get that on video. I know I'm being a little silly here, but anyway. Alright, in the box it goes, and the rest of this is junk. I'll toss out, so it is in the box. And if it disappears, then it's ghosts, or poltergeists, because I put it in there. Anyhow, alright, I'll stop being silly. But anyway, so I guess that's going to be it for tonight, and I'll go ahead and upload this as video 3. Like I said, I'm going to take my sweet time on this because, you know, you're not supposed to rush. Another thing I was going to show you is these are the 2 wires. This is the wire in, and this is the wire out. Also, you know, silly me, I do have voltages, not on this part of the schematic, but hello, I turned the page. And they do have the tube socket layout from underneath with the voltages. So the plate of the 19 tube is where the this wire goes to the center tap on the transformer, on the speaker transformer. Interestingly, they're using the center tap, so I had to buy a push-pull. I don't know if you remember, but the transformer, the primary is open on the output transformer, but it's center tap, so it's a push-pull. Anyway, so I got the correct one. So this comes out of here, it goes to a, and I took notes, it goes to a terminal strip, and then from the terminal strip it goes to the speaker out. Goes to the bottom lug of the speaker, and then returns at the top, to which goes directly to the 19 tube, so to the plate. And that's supposed to be 150 volts, so I'm assuming that more than 150 volts comes out of this thing. And another interesting thing, and I did read this in actually in the Mallory vibrator. This is 12 gauge wire. I may be able to get it at Sundial, but they were kind of made a big deal about using heavy gauge, 12 gauge or higher copper wire to reduce the, I guess, to prevent resistance and oh, I'm sure Dennis will pop in with this one. There's a reason, and they want you to be using 12 or larger gauge wire into the vibrator, and then after that, you know, you can go down to this piddly little 18 gauge stuff. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, I'm going to end this. Got a lot of work to do, huh? See if I can do something about this 624 sticker before it just completely disintegrates. Maybe get it wet. It's already been wet. And then maybe lacquer it onto here. I don't know. I got some rust to clean up and some ancient spider carcasses to get rid of. So, oh, and as I don't know if this is the original bulb or not. But anyway, we'll find out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.